Good evening from depending on whatever time you're watching us. This is Cuea Dialogue, and we have privilege to host 3 elected presidents from different faculties. We have Kipto from the Faculty of Law. We have Jemina Mtua from the Faculty of Business. We also have Anthony Ngatuk from the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. Anthony, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Jemina and Kipto.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations for winning the presidential seat in your different faculties.
Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Kirwa,
Yes.
let me start with you. How was the electoral process, according to your opinion?
Okay. The electoral process was smooth. We didn't experience so much of hitches. Only that we had. It's always said that a process cannot be so perfect. And so there were a few hitches. For example, students who wanted to vote but did not get the link to vote. There was probably at some point there was people felt like there was not enough time and there was additional time, and we as advocates felt that we as lawyers felt like the additional time was a violation of the already set rule. But either way, I think the process was close to perfect.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kito. Maybe Anton, how did you see the electoral process? Was it fair? Was it? Do you think there was any incredibility?
Yeah, they were. Especially the last minute. We saw people bringing in identity cards late, and we also saw the extension of the period of election, though it was not supposed to be, but it was a smooth one from the beginning, because every candidate here showcased the best they had, and it was successful.
Jemina, were you favored by the electoral process, or it was free and fair? Do you think the electoral favored any candidate?
I can say it was well, although it was a bit challenging at the finishing line because it was set to end at 5 p.m. but all of a sudden 5:30. So there were a little bit challenges there. And the issue of links. Many students did not receive the links, and when you ask them, they gave the number to the school, every detail, so you wonder where is the problem coming from. Yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Kipto, Mrs. Jemina, and Mr. Anton, I guess that for you to be elected, you had powerful manifestos that defeated your opponents. Maybe talking about one of your manifestos, let me take the issue of Wi-Fi connection in the law school. Do you think, are you going to work on that for students to be satisfied with the Wi-Fi connection in the law school?
Thank you so much, Brian. Wi-Fi connectivity to me and to my manifesto and to my people, it's not a privilege, it's a right for law students. It's always in the public domain that law students are people who read, and reading involved a lot of research.
Yeah.
And we need strong Wi-Fi connectivity.
Yeah.
Having a faculty of law without Wi-Fi connectivity
Yeah.
is a degradation of the standards required for law students to have a conducive study environment. And so the best way I'll do is ensure that the school moves with speed to ensure that there is Wi-Fi connectivity. Not only Wi-Fi, but strong, accessible Wi-Fi connectivity at the Faculty of Law. Yeah.
Okay, Mrs. Jemina, now you are the president or the chairperson of the Faculty of Business and Economics. We have been having experience in issues of unrecorded marks from students in that faculty. How are you going to work on it?
First of all, I can say the School of Business is very large because we are combined with the economic students. So I would like the administration to ensure that the students are captured in the list.
Yeah.
You know, there's the class list.
Yeah.
Because when you're not in the class list, you find those are the most students who are having the issue of missing marks. So when we ensure that every student is captured in the class list now, I am pretty sure the issue of missing marks is going to be very minimal in my School of Business.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Jemina. Anthony, back to you. In your faculty, we have this problem where students complain of lessons clashing. You find that you have been allocated a lesson in Zadwa Room 8, only to go there and find that another lecture or another lesson is undertaking. How are you going to work with the timetabling department to ensure that students in your faculty enjoy those lessons?
Well, I think the allocation of rooms it's supposed to be worked on, that's one. And then two, I'm also going to sit down with those who usually prepare the timetable and try to include the class representatives there such that we have a smooth running lectures at the end of the day. Because when you are clashing lessons, you are definitely interfering with the another ones that are on the way coming. So it's good if we sit together, try to allocate rooms properly, and again from there we are also going to introduce that links between the administration and the students such that you can communicate it earlier before the lesson. So it's, from there it's being sorted out, and at the end of the day we shall have a good and
Okay, thank you Anthony for responding to that question. We have also another thing whereby students who are complaining that the school activities are too minimal. You find that in a semester you only had the Mrs. and Mr. Cuea, then they're waiting for freshers bash. Comparing with the other institutions, they're seeing that institutions are holding different activities. Are you going to work with the executive to ensure that at least one activity is introduced in a semester so that we can have 3 activities to fulfill or to satisfy students to get relief of academic headache? Keep talking.
Okay, thank you, Brian, for that. That is a very important way of trying to diffuse the pressure of academics. Yeah. And so, as a faculty of law, specifically, we normally hold public lectures. Yeah. We normally hold visits outside the school, for example, legal aid visits. Yeah. And during my tenure, I'll ensure that these visits are intensified, involve everyone, and they are catered for by the school. Yeah. Yeah, such that it's an activity that brings everyone on board. Yeah. Such that most people who used to come to school only for lessons then go back home, have a reason to stay in school and have a reason to enjoy life at school.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for responding to that question. If you are a student in law school, you have heard the activity that's going to be introduced by your president. Maybe let's hear a word from you, Jemina. Are you planning to work with the executive to ensure that at least one activity is introduced in school?
Yes, thank you, Brian, for that question. To me, for the School of Business, I want to make sure that I bring more the activities concerning careers, mentorship, you know. Like just the other day, we had an activity here at LRC Auditorium with Mr. Cliff from the World Bank. Yeah. And we got to learn a lot concerning the business world today because it changes each and every day, you know. I want to bring such conversation to our students so that we are built well as business students before we get out here. So mentorship, careership, that is what I'm going to work with to make sure my students, including myself, we are well built before we get out here.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Jemina, for responding to that question about the club activity. As you have heard that Jemina is going to work with the executive to ensure that at least the business students can have a day where they are engaged in business activities to expand their brains and to have access to career talk and career lectures. Anthony, back to you. In the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, do you think there is a need to introduce an activity for those students?
Well, as you have heard from my colleagues, the pressure is always there, the academic pressure. So I'm going to introduce interfaculty activities where we can have a game or an activity we are carrying out. And then again, we are also going to welcome the outside world to come and visit, or we can visit the outside world. And then from there, we are also going to organize departments competitions. Yeah. And then from there, we are able to end the pressure. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ngatuk from the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. Now that you have been elected, you are waiting for inauguration day for you to serve the students. Do you think that the previous government failed in one way or another, where you are going to correct? Jemina?
To respond on that question, I would say actually there has been a problem in my faculty because I remember my the former chair almost resigned from her work because it was so much for her and all that. So I can say that I will urge my vice and my secretary together with my HODs to just get used to that, you know, serving the students. That is what we asked for. Yeah. Our manifesto it all explained what we shall do for the students who elected us.
Yeah.
So we shall be there for them, and we shall cater for everything they ask.
Okay, Mr. Kirwa?
Yeah.
Mr. Brian, I think the main reason as to why I vied for this particular post is because I felt the shortage of good leadership at our faculty.
Yeah.
There were moments when we needed support for moot court competitions,
Yeah.
and we organized, we went through the painstaking process of drafting memorials to have an internal moot, but then the process did not take off because our leaders didn't have the political will to let them come true. Those are the failures. We've always sought for a strong Wi-Fi connectivity in our faculty for the longest time possible. That has never came to be realized. Still, I felt like those are the failures that they did deliver on their promises. But still, they tried their best. Probably their best was not the best that I expected, but they tried their best. They tried to repair washrooms. They tried sort out the issue of missing marks, which is still a contentious issue and still exists to date. But I think if I were to rate them between in a level of 1 to 10, I would give them a 4 probably. But I'm not sure my government gets to a 10 out of 10. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Victor, for responding to that question. As you are vying for these seats, so when you are filling forms to contest for these seats, we had different positions. What inspired you to go for presidential seats?
Well, it has been my ambition, and as you can see, I'm the one who have started earlier, and I've done it because there is some things I'm willing to fix in my faculty. There is some things that I'm also going to introduce in my faculty. There is a need for good leadership. We made sure that we have ended up the leadership of conmanship and dirty politics. We only want to practice a clear democracy, and that's what made me to fight for this post. And also, I've been volunteering, helping my faculty people, and they appreciated my work. And now it was a good time for me to implement whatever I've been doing. Yes.
Okay, Madam Jemina.
For me, I can say it has always been my wish to be the chairperson for the School of Business. And again, what made me vie for this position is that before I have served as a head of department, human resource. And you know the problems we have been having. Like in my faculty, we have a huge problem of sanitation. We have missing marks. Those are problems which have been there, you know. We present them and all that. So I thought, being the chairperson now, I'm the one on the throne, then I can really take care of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you. Mr. Kito.
Yeah.
At least you have something that inspired you to go for chairperson seat and not for the vice seat.
Thank you so much. First, I aim high. That's my purpose. That's my reason. I don't go for the little posts. Sure. Okay. But the main reason is I love to take charge of the process. Like the captain of the ship. And so I wanted to be the captain of the ship for this particular period of time. Deliver the faculty of law to greatness. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Kipto, for responding to that question. We are continuing with the show. We are continuing with the dialogue, and maybe let me talk about the issue that before you were elected, we had those leaders who are serving those faculties. And do you think there is something you are going to do in that faculty that is totally different from those leaders who are before you? Like you are the president in the School of Law. There is, but before you are given that sword, to lead. We still have the president in that faculty of law. There is this maybe something that you are going to introduce new that will set a legacy. That when you graduate or when you leave that seat, it will be written or noted in students' hearts and mind that this is what our chairperson, Mr. Kirwa, left.
Okay, thank you so much, Brian. The first, the last thing, and the first and the last thing I would want to be remembered for is that I introduced mooting and made it an opportunity for each and every student at the Faculty of Law to access it and have a chance to take part in it. Already we have taken the preliminary stages and the preliminary are steps to ensure that these people get a chance. We've already organized an internal moot.
Yeah.
We've called for people to register. We've sensitized the students on the process of it all.
Yeah.
And I think that's an opportunity to give our students to grow in their oratory skills and their research skills.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. My director tells me that we are out of time. We are taking a short commercial break, but when we come back, we'll be also talking about where do these leaders see themselves after 5 years or after campus? Are they going to vie for gubernatorial seats, senatorial seats, or member of parliament in their respective constituencies? We're taking a short commercial break. Continue watching Cuea Dialogue.
Go.
Thank you for waiting us. We are watching Cuea Dialogue, and we are continuing the show. We have elected leaders from different faculties. We have a fourth-year student from the Faculty of Law, that is Cuea, who is now the president, waiting for inauguration. We also have Jemina Mutua from the Faculty of Business, a third-year student taking commerce. We also have Anthony Ngatuk, a second-year student, the youngest leader in the panel, who secured a seat as the president from the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So, as we continue, Madam, maybe let me hear a word from Ms. Anthony. Do you think, reflecting the general election, we see political enmity in those general elections? Do you think campus election has political enmity?
Yeah, basically, some people are taking it to a personal level, which it's not supposed to be that way. Politics, it's a game. There is also always a winner and a loser, but at the end of the day, they can still pull up together and do something. There is no enmity in politics. We only exercise rights, and by exercising those rights, we are exercising democracy. Democracy, a pure one, shall not have enmity. So I think we might end that culture of creating enmity in the field of politics.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Kito, you are a lawyer.
Sure.
You are about to practice law and to establish your own law firm. Do you think there is a political enmity in campus politics?
Not really.
No.
Probably just stepping on each other's toes here and there.
Yeah.
But again, very peaceful. We agree that whoever wins or loses, like our lecturer keeps telling us, is they are no losers, they are enablers.
Yeah.
You just compete. Whoever wins takes the day. Whoever loses brings their manifesto on board and beyond.
Okay, Madam Jemina, you had two competitors. You had Margaret and you had Anna. Do you think when you are declared a winner, they considered defeat positively or negatively?
Positively. We actually met, we shook hands, you know.
Yeah.
They congratulated me. And personally, I'm not an enemy to them, and that we are not enemies. We are good friends because we help each other. Because I'm a third year, yes? And in the next SGC, I won't be vying for this seat again. You know, one of them might again decide to be there. I'll definitely help her, so there's no enmity. Yeah.
Okay, I was just about to ask that question. Anthony, as for Kipto, he's going out. He's waiting to graduate.
Yeah.
But for you, Anthony and Jemina, you still have time to vie for various seats. Anthony, do you think you are going to maintain the seat in the next general election?
No.
Or you have
Actually,
other ambitions?
Other ambition is in this coming December, we'll be vying for the deputy president of the Turkana Students Association,
Yeah.
and then my next seat probably will be in the executive field.
Yeah.
From there now I'll explore more.
Yeah.
Maybe start with the member of parliament and so on.
Okay. Thank you. Jemina, which seat are you going to go for?
Definitely, the next year will be fourth year, and I will go for the executive seat.
Yeah.
Then probably when I get out here, I'll go for the so-called the Kenya, you know, the MCA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All the best as you be vying for your MCA seat. Mr. Kipto,
Yes.
now you are about to leave the school, you are about to graduate.
Exactly.
To face, are you going to join real politics outside there?
That has always been my dream, always.
Yeah.
Real politics outside here is good brains.
Yeah.
I have good brains to get
Yeah.
into the politics outside here.
Okay.
Be an MP in my constituency and to make it as great as I make the Faculty of Law.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, Madam Jemina, now after campus, you know, these things start from campus. You can see people like Babu Wino, they were UN student leaders, now they are MP for Embakasi. We have so many leaders who have been leaders in campus, but now, right now, they are really leaders in the real government. Which seat are you aspiring to buy?
For me, I will begin from the lowest seat.
The MCA seat.
I don't want a heartbreak in the morning. You know, I want to begin from the lowest seat, so that my people can know me well. You know, so I just begin from down as I go up until
you reach the president seat.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Natu.
For me, I will start with the member of parliament, and which I know I will secure the seat, because I believe and I trust in my ambitions and I believe in my star. And then from there, I will move to the next level properly. I want to try it as much as I can, only one term per seat. Member of parliament, senator, governor, then from there, we move to the highest arena.
Okay. You're watching Cuea Dialogue. Our hashtag is always Cuea Dialogue. You can watch us on my YouTube channel. And remember to comment, subscribe. And on your comment, you can ask a leader, because these are your leaders. If you have a specific question to maybe Kirua, you are from the School of Law, or you are from the School of Business, you want to ask your leader a question, you'll ask from that comment, and she'll get to read and respond to your question, whether the manifestos she promised she's going to work on them. Is she going to deliver? You can also ask Anthony Matuk, if you are from the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences, to get to know how your leader works, or how your leader planning to serve you as a student. As we conclude our show, maybe 30 seconds, Matuk, you can say a word to your voters.
Well, thank you all for voting me in. Now I'm your chairperson. Those who did not and those who did, we are going to work together. We are going to change first and make it a great faculty. We are also going to continue with the legacy of those who left it unfinished. We are going to make sure we have dealt with, and then from there, we are going to make first great.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ngatuk. Maybe Kipto, 31 seconds. Say a word to your voters.
Thank you so much, Brian. For the students at the Faculty of Law, after we won the elections, I went to the classrooms and thanked them personally for having voted me. I personally went to them person to person, asking for them to support me. They trusted me with the mandate, and I told them that I'm looking into their eyes so that they can know that I'm not lying to them. I'm also speaking unto them this particular time that this is the chance to make our faculty great. We've had leadership, and we think this is the best leadership that will ever be. We will deliver on our promises. It's a hard task, but trust me, I will make sure that I deliver my promises.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kipto. Mrs. Jemina, from the Faculty of Business, you can say a word, you can congratulate your voters.
To my voters, thank you so much for trusting in my words, especially the chairperson seat in the School of Business. It was very tough. The competition was very, very high. But you trusted my manifesto, you trusted Jemina, and thank you so much. And I'm very willing to work for you. I promise to deliver everything in my manifesto. Actually, my motto was service and equality to all. That is what I will dwell in. Where our past leaders in the School of Business served us up to, it is where I'm going to take over and take the School of Business to another level.
Okay, thank you, Jemina, for your closing remarks. Thank you, Kipto. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you for coming to my show, the Cuea Dialogue, where all students can watch you, listen to your views, listen to your manifestos, and also listen to the promises that you made. If you are going to fulfill them, or you are just saying to win votes, they'll be there watching you. I'll also invite you another day so that you can talk on your manifestos to see which manifestos have you fulfilled, the challenges you'll be meeting as we proceed. Thank you. You are watching Cuea Dialogue. I was your host, Brian Muli. Watch and remember to subscribe to join